Welcome to Bears Banner, week number 9. Chicago Bears versus the Tennessee Titans in the pregame show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tonight, you have myself, Bernard Muhammad, Guy Moore, Jay Beasley, Tammy Harris, Keith Flournoy. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Great.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, good.
I'm
So
good.
we got the Bears coming into this game 5-3, and we have the Titans coming in this game 5-2. So this is going. Both teams have actually lost 2 games in a row. Similar opponents. Both of them are kind of trending down right now. So let's see what's going to happen going into the game on Sunday. Anybody got any comments before we jump into these questions? No.
I think I actually think everybody thinking the same thing. They want to hold their comments for the question. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Good. Great. Let me check my broadcast here over here. Okay, so I look good here. So I guess we can start off.
You always look good, Bernard.
I look good. Thank you. Let me start off with the same question as always, and we don't have to get fancy or anything. What do the Bears need to do to win this game against the Titans? Bears are 5-3, and the Titans are 5-2. Who wants to start off tonight? Okay. You want to start off, Plank? We let's roll.
Okay. Well, what the Bears need to do is figure out some way to muster an offensive line. Right now, their entire offensive line has been put out. You've got one starter that's left out there and good enough to go. This is going to be a difficult proposition. Offensive line is one of the positions that need continuity, and thinking that they just throwing a whole bunch of people together, not even some of the guys that were replacements last week. So, Mustapher's out. Whoever that guy, number 78, that did a decent job, he's also out. He's got COVID. So the Bears are going to have to figure out some kind of way to get a working and functional offensive line in order to get a win. What do you think? Guy?
Well, you got to trust the process, man. I know we were having difficulty running the ball, but we also have had some blips as far as throwing the ball. And I will figure that if you trust the process, just keep running the ball. I mean, their defense, Tennessee's defense hasn't been great. Keep going. Like I said, Montgomery's motivated. And what happens is you kind of put the onus on their defense to think more. Because if you're running the ball and you're successful, now you have to sort of maybe play a little bit in and stop the run. It gives like the receivers a little more leeway. You got Robinson and Mooney. And like I said, the last few games, I'm looking at Mooney. Mooney's like racing like Jaguars, Cheetahs, and stuff like that. Well, they're the only ones to keep up with them. But, like Plank said, yeah, we got to get some continuity on the offensive line. But I also think that even if we get like 1 or 2 yards, if we keep running the ball, I think we can have some success passing.
That's a great point, guy. What about you, Tammy?
Well, while I wish that they would develop their run game and find it, and they seemed like they were going to find it in the first half of the last game, I think the most important thing is just for them to connect on whichever way they do. So I don't care if they score passing or running; they just gotta put some points on the board. And it seems like the Titans are a team from looking at their stats that gives up some points, and their defense seems kind of weak. So maybe Nick Foles won't look like a deer in headlights because maybe they're not going to pressure him as much. So maybe we have some time to, make the right choice on who he should connect with, rather it's a run, a short pass, or a long pass. He just has to be consistent. He just has to connect on whatever it is he does. And of course, our defense has to show up like they always do to stop them from scoring points. But their defense, it says they're pretty weak. So I'm thinking maybe Foles will have a little bit more time to compose himself.
Okay. Hey, Jay, you're up.
Y'all know me. Y'all know I dig deep. The Bears need to force the turnovers on defense. They need to force the turnovers. And like Plank say, and like guys say, whatever the offensive structure is, as far as the offensive line, they got to find some type of continuity. The Titans defense, as Tammy said, is not that good. They got 7 sacks on the season, 7 total sacks on the season. So whoever is on the offensive line, if they can muster up some type of continuity and protect Foles and put some points on the board, we'll be okay. But the bottom line is this defense, our defense, we got to create a short field with some turnovers and let our defense do their thing. Derrick Henry is going to be a load, but Derrick Henry can be a load, but our defense a load and a half. But our defense is not slouches. I mean, we do make tackles. So, but the biggest thing about it is we got to put some points on the board, and whoever's on that offensive line, we got to have some type of continuity and give Foles time to make some plays. And I want to go back again to Coach Nagy for him to get out of his smorgasbord offensive plays and actually create a game plan. Just don't look at your card and be like, okay, I think this gonna work. I think this gonna work. No, create a game plan. Run some stuff. And be like, okay, that worked. I'll go back to it the next time, but I'll add something to this. So it's all about continuity. And I actually think the Bears can win this game.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. Hey, we got a guest I want to bring on tonight, Russ Baker. I know Russ, throughout the years, I watched him give predictions on different sporting events, and also he was one of my high school teammates. Come on, Russ. How you doing, Russ? Welcome to the broadcast to Bears Banner. With the Bears fan.
I'm doing great.
Yes,
All right, Russ.
What's
So,
up? Swoop one time.
Woo! Hey, do you see the question we have in front of us, Russ? What do the Bears need to do to win against the Titans?
Well, as I was listening, I did hear the offense about getting some continuity. I also think Nagy did a pretty good job actually last week with the play calling, believe it or not. They were a lot better, early in the game. Definitely need to get the offensive line with some continuity, as I agree with that. Got to trust the running game. And on defense, I'm a little worried. We got a good defense, but I remember the Rams were a little bit physical with us, and I'm thinking Derrick Henry is one of the most physical, if not the most physical running back in the league. Roquan Smith, it's either or. He gonna have to have a 15, 20 tackle game.
I agree.
Danny Trevathan, the linebackers gonna have to bring their A game because once he get to that second level, it's gonna be a problem, And I just remember how the Rams did us on Monday night. They were real physical with us, and that created a problem. So I'm a little leery of that. But throughout all of this that's going on, the hurt and the injuries on the offensive line, COVID on the offensive line, defense need to be physical. I got a funny feeling just when we think we're about to count them out, I think they're gonna come to play on Sunday.
Okay.
I got a funny feeling that it looks real bleak. Like Tennessee's one of the better teams in the league. I'm not fooled that they lost to the Bengals last week. I think if anything, the key to beating them with our coaching staff, they should have been pulling out the Pittsburgh Steelers film because they kind of held Derrick Henry in check. Even though they gave up 24 points, he wasn't killing them.
Okay.
They need to pull out that tape. And also last week, the Bengals, whatever the Bengals did, they did, rookie quarterback. So I would like to think that Foles is better than the rookie. But then again, he was making some throws last week that, left a lot to be desired. And also the one thing I am concerned with, too, with the offensive line, and Mooney's been getting open deep, and they did find him once last week, and we've been having struggles with connecting on the deep ball. It's going to be a lot of short stuff if them guys aren't together, and they got a lot of,
Yep.
So Russ, we're gonna come back to you for your score And D-Hap, I'm going to hold you out for a minute because I want you to have a little time to make sure you focus on the football one-on-one. Okay? So as far as what I'm thinking as far as the Bears, I think what the Bears need to do, like Jay indicated, the Bears need to they need to have a game plan. What I've seen for the Bears this year at times, I'm not sure if they have a game plan or they just calling plays that's on play card because the plays don't seem like they're setting up anything. But you know what? The offensive line been decimated. I think this may actually help the Bears because the hardest thing to do is the pass block for a quarterback. When you substitute guys in, this may actually make the Bears run the ball. This make them just stick to running the ball. And like in the last game, they actually did that for the first quarter, and they kind of got away from it. Defensively, they gotta gang tackle Henry. Don't go up in there high because he's gonna posterize you with a Walter Payton stiff arm. He's gonna summon that spirit of Walter Payton sweetness. You're gonna be on your back looking silly. But don't go in high on them. And the Bears been pretty good at keeping teams from getting rushing touchdowns. So if the Bears tackle, keep pressure on Tannehill, and stick to a running game. Run on first, run on second, run on third if you have to. Maybe short little dink, play action. This should be a pretty good game because the Tennessee defense is not too good as far as what I can see.
Yeah, and the last time we played Tennessee in 2012, I remember that game vividly. We put up a 50 burger. We put up a 50 burger against them. And my caveat for the week.
Caveat.
Hey, hold on, Jay, 1 minute. Hey, do somebody have the broadcast on another device? Because I can hear the broadcast coming through. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm gonna come right back to you.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if somebody has it on another device because I can hear it. I can hear it coming through. Anybody else hear it? No. Okay.
Okay, there we go. I was just gonna say the road team in this series is 5-0. The road team, so that might be good for us because the road team is 5-0 in the last 5 games, and that's dating back to 1998, I believe. Because we only play them every time a few years, but the last time the Bears went to Tennessee, they put up a 50 burger, and the defense showed out in that game. So what the Bears need to do to win this game is play a complete game. They need to play a complete game.
Okay, a complete game.
Derrick Henry is a problem. A lot of times he out there playing like John Henry on the railroad. I'm not quite sure. Well, I'll tell you what, we won't be able to beat them by Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan going up there and just hitting people and not wrapping them up. So when they get there, they got to complete the entire process and actually make the tackle. I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
Okay. Yep. So let's get to this part where everybody like to claim they bragging rights.
Keep putting that
I ain't mad.
All right.
So let's Plank 4-4, Tammy 4-4. I'm 4-4, Guy 4-4, Jay lagging a little behind at 3-5. I just want to put that in front of us, and let me put some stats in front of us before we get to the prediction. And I'm gonna bring Russ back in, and I'll bring in D-Ham too for his prediction. Let's look at some things here. Titans are 5-2. Bears are 5-3. The Titans' offense is ranked 5th, averaging 29.7 points a game.
Like Trump said, that's a fraud.
Yeah. The Bears' offense is ranked 29th, averaging 20.1 points a game. Yeah, right. The Titans, I'm just going to read the strength. The Titans rush for 155 yards a game on average. The Bears average about 85.6 yards a game. Yeah. They got to be a combination of quarterback runs or something like that, or various players. The Tennessee Titans, their defense ranked 24th. They're averaging 20. They're giving up 26.3 points a game. The Bears defense is ranked 12th, and they're giving up an average of 20.8 points a game. So now we have that stats. Now we come down to the predictions. Who want to start first? You know what? I'll start first today.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, this been a hard one. I've been going back and forth all week, watched some games, and I've been kind of trying to figure out where I want to go with this game. But I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to go Bears 13, Titans 10.
Okay.
Got it.
I like it.
You know what?
For the Bears.
Okay.
I like
you know what? I had a number in my mind, but I was looking at some stats. I mean, we've got 5 receivers with at least almost 200 yards. They got 5 at 200 and 1 at 187. So he spreads the ball out pretty good. You say, you know, Mr. Henry is a load, but you know what? He's not the first running back that was like that, man. They go up in there with a mindset of like, hey, I don't care who you are. You can stiff arm Josh Norman, but if you stick your arm out there, we're going to break it. 23-17 Bears.
23-17 Bears. Okay.
I'll go next.
You go next? Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Based on the Bears' offensive line, again, that's one of the hardest groups to get any kind of cohesion. I don't see it this week. As a matter of fact, I see the offense not coming up with a whole lot of points, as if they weren't scoring points earlier in the year. This is going to make it even worse. And as a result, I think the defense is going to have to try to play from the back and play from behind in order to make up for it. I see the game coming 28-10 Titans.
Wow.
Wow.
I feel you, kid.
Oh, okay.
I feel you.
Who want to go? Hey, you know what? Let's break Russ in. Come on, Russ, you up?
Well, here I am. It looks bleak. That 28-10 just kind of put me like, whoo.
Right.
The Titans defense is giving up 26 points a game. We're not an offense. We're Chicago, man. We normally don't capitalize on stuff like that. Even with the Falcons, we had to come with the fourth quarter comeback. And at the time we were playing them, they were giving up 39 a game. Bears win 24-21.
24.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
The defense on our side.
I like it.
Montgomery for the first 100 yards of the season.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Tammy, you up?
As bag of groceries right now. Okay.
Okay, we are going to bear down. We're going to win. And I said 24-17 Bears, and the defense is going to get their first TD.
Okay.
That'll be
Bold predictions. Put up bold predictions. Okay, Jay, you're up.
Like you, I struggled all week to see what this game was going to be about. But I'm actually feeling confident. The Bears historically against the AFC has played pretty well. And I'm feeling pretty confident. And I think some kind of way Nagy is going to put a game plan together to beat this defense. So I'm going to predict a 23-14 Bears win.
Okay.
That's
There we go.
what's up.
Hey, we'd like to welcome D. Hampton to the broadcast. He's going to do the football one-on-one. But we're going to put a little pressure on him. He's always like to we like to put the pressure on the guests for the last score. So what you got? What you got, D-Hap?
You know what? This week, I think we're going to finally stop the run and force Tannehill to throw the ball around, which could play into our favor. I got us winning 17-6. Also with some defensive turnovers and hopefully, defense give us good field position. So 17-6 Bears.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Hey, let me do a recap real quick. I picked the Bears to win 13-10. Guy picked the Bears to win 23-17. Plank the Titans to win 28-10. Russ picked the Bears to win 24-21. Tammy picked the Bears to win 24-17. Jay picked the Bears to win 23-14. D-Hemp picked the Bears to win 17-16. So what's going to happen is
6.
all us going to be all us going to be 17-6. 17-6. Okay, all us going to be 5-4, and Plank going to be 4-5. And Jay gonna be 4-5.
I'm gonna be 4-5 too.
6-4. Plank gonna be 6-4, and all us gonna be losing record 4-5.
Guys, if you name the guys that are gonna block for your starting running back and quarterback, that should be an indication that you're not gonna win the game. I'm just letting you know. Five guys, you starting offensive lineman out there, and you're not even going with second stringers at this point. The rest of the guys are third stringers. So let's see how this is gonna work. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I thought on that hard. I thought on that, but I didn't factor that in a whole lot as a negative because if I recall correctly, the Bengals had quite a few linemen out for COVID. And
they had four starting linemen out.
Yeah, and the Titans didn't get not one sack in that game. And,
they got 7 sacks on the season.
7 sacks on the season. Yeah, and Burrows, I know he looked like the real deal, but he was throwing it all over them. So that's what kind of made me kind of switch the other way because I was kind of torn. I'm not trying to give a caveat, but I am giving one.
Caveat.
Hey, B, I've always said, like, once you get to that level in NFL, as far as talent-wise, it's pretty much kind of the same bubble, and it's a couple people that are kind of outside of that line that are just, like, lights out. You get these guys coming off the bench to fill in. Their whole mindset is like, we supposed to lose. We ain't got nothing to win. Let's just play loose. Them dudes basically play like the Padres defense against the Titans.
Okay.
I hope you're right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Me too. I hope you're wrong too.
I had this dream when I was playing strong safety for the Bears. And they give me one of them.
Roquan Smith with about 15 tackles Sunday, man.
Okay. So, Russ, it's up to you if you want to hang in on football one-on-one. Last week, D-Ham was our guest, and he talked about quarterback play. And so I'm just going to reintroduce him just briefly for the people who missed last week. D-Ham is a former college quarterback and Arena League football quarterback. So last week what he talked about was quarterback, and he was talking about fundamentals. And where we ended the broadcast at, he was just talking about receivers adjusting their routes on the fly. And that adjustment, he indicated as we were closing, sometimes this is where you see an interception thrown in a game, and you wonder, who was that quarterback throwing to? Because those are sometimes where there's adjustment that happened. He was explaining. And the quarterback threw where he thought the receiver was going, and the receiver went somewhere else. So typically that's what a miscommunication. So D-Ham, if you want to start from there, we got some videos queued up and etc. for you. So it's all yours.
I'm gonna break out. I got a couple things I need to do. I want to just say thanks for bringing me on the show. It's always good to talk
Okay.
football.
All right. Hey, thanks, Ross.
I know
Yes,
things
sir.
look blue, but we gotta continue to bed down.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. That's always
to the only
the
defensive
target.
guy on the panel. They ain't giving up no 28 points, man.
Okay.
And then there were two Omegas.
This video is going to be about 3 minutes. Just talking about quarterback drills and proper throwing mechanics. And after that, we'll go ahead and start with you, D.
Okay.
Okay. So let me bring it in. Let me know when you want me to bring it up, Plank.
Right now.
Okay.
Thousands of quarterbacks across each and every year. And one of the biggest things that I see is that their throwing mechanics are flawed, and almost fatally flawed. If you want to have consistent throwing motion, or one that you can be successful with consistently, I'm going to give you a few of the keys. But first, I'm going to show you something that many people are teaching across the country, and it couldn't be any more wrong, and I'll tell you why. So I see a lot of kids around the country. Coach will teach them, start my throwing motion. The first thing I do is go here. Right? So that's vertical L. This is the position that you'll need to get to in your throwing motion. However, if we start here, that means when my hip starts going to the target, my shoulder starts going to the target, and I can't get enough energy to the ball. I'm robbing myself of vital energy that I need when I have to drive the ball or to have a consistent throwing motion and not be injured. So what I want to do when I'm throwing is load up my back leg. For me, I'm right-handed, so I'm thinking inside edge of the right leg is where you're going to have the pressure. And the first step is driving from there, getting the equal opposite. So equal opposite is get this tip of the ball.
So I don't know if I was hearing an echo. Were y'all hearing the echo?
Yeah, I was hearing the echo.
Okay. So I'm sorry. We had to, if you want to fill in where it was at, but there was a echo on that. D-Hamp, so if you want to just kind of fill in what he was saying.
Yeah, sure.
And now we get this.
Cut the video, Bernard.
Cut the video, play.
There you go.
Hey, got it.
Yeah, before my camera, I'm sorry if I feel a little, it's like on an angle, but I do the best I can.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, perfect. So Coach Avery, first of all, man, I have so much respect for Coach Avery. What he's just explaining, just like science, just motion. If you get a rubber band and you pull a rubber band back, where's that motion going to go? The energy is going to go once you pull a rubber band. It's going to go forward, and that's all he's saying. How you shift and your weight transition. He talked about the vertical L, and that was something years ago. Quarterback coaches, that's the first thing they talk about is get that ball up, get your elbow up, and that's not what's being taught today. And I would be remiss if I do not give background of Coach Avery, because I really appreciate this video, guys. And I don't know if it was intentionally chosen, but I'm a huge advocate for African American quarterbacks, and Coach Avery he's a voice. I don't know if you guys know it, but he's the voice of Black quarterbacks today. He has an amazing story, and I'm not going to take a lot of time going into it. However, I will share. His dad was a NFL coach under Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay, and Coach Avery is a great quarterback coach, and that was a passion and a desire of his. So he went down to UCLA to get his coaching career started. He had an opportunity. Once he got there, the coach that he was going to interview for to get the job, he was no longer the coach. So he met the new coach that was there, and he ended up offering him a job. He ended up, he was homeless for some time. He ended up leaving California, going back home to Atlanta, and deciding, hey, I want to coach, but I want to do it on my terms. I want to be a private, individual, independent quarterbacks coach. And doing so, he was homeless. His dad wasn't coaching in the league. Tony Dungy fired him. His mom wouldn't help him out because she felt he had his college degree. He needed to do something with it. But Coach Avery, he followed his his dream, his passion for coaching quarterbacks, and he got a break. And I'm gonna show you. And he touched on how quarterbacks are not hard, how they used to coach with the vertical L, and how that's just the wrong way. And it's going to make sense in a second. He caught a break. It's a camp called Elite 11. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Elite 11. So Elite 11 is when I think it's ESPN. They bring the top 11 quarterbacks throughout the entire nation. Okay, and they train them for like a week, and then they get a lot of publicity. And Coach Avery caught his break at this Elite 11 camp. How he got there, he had reached out to a lot of quarterbacks on social media, asking can he train them. And one in particular, I think it was Don. I can't remember the specific quarterback, but he's like, yeah, you can train me. And he went and trained this guy, and he fell in love with Coach Avery, and he invited him like, hey, I'm going to this Elite 11 camp. Could you come with me? Coach Avery went down there, and the guy that runs Elite 11 is Trent Dilfer. You guys are aware?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the time, Elite 11 is going on. Trent Difford, he's aware that, hey, I'm this white coach, and a lot of the top quarterbacks coming in, they can't relate. He's on record to saying that we're not getting the blonde hair, blue eyed quarterbacks no more. That's Trent Dilfer's words, and he was like, I need a coach that can connect with them. Fast forward, he's seen Coach Avery. He loved his knowledge of the game, his enthusiasm, and he hired him. And that's how Coach Avery got his break. Today, Coach Avery is coaching majority of the top black quarterbacks that's playing big time college football right now. Coach Avery trains them. Deshaun Watson, he trains them. Fields, who's at Ohio State, probably the best quarterback that's going to come out in a long time. He's his personal trainer. So I have a lot. I'm sorry, but I have a lot of respect for that video and Coach.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
So hey, so let's we got some questions. Plank, you got the let's bring up the wide receiver route tree.
Okay, I'll do that. One of the things I thought about right when you were saying that is luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So Coach Avery had an opportunity. He was ready for it, and he ended up turning it to something else. I've got that wide receiver route tree up and running now, so you can go ahead and share it anytime you're ready.
Okay, so what we got going on last week? Okay, so now we talked about the fundamentals. We talked about the quarterback. For those who are watching Football 101 right now, Football 101 is kind of like a football tutorial that we have for maybe people who watch football or want to be fans of football but don't quite understand the game, but for some of those who just want to enhance their knowledge of the game. So that's what this part of the segment is about. So last week we talked about protections, well, as far as a quarterback calling out protections. Jay being a hell of a receiver, he's looking at this route tree that he broke down a few weeks ago, and Plank, he shut down corner. So you come up to the line of scrimmage, and we bring this here route tree up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move everybody off the route, off the screen. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on, let me go here. Okay. And I'm going to bring it down. That ain't what I meant to do. Let me go back here.
It's all right.
Okay. Let me add this back into the hold on. Add this back to the broadcast.
Okay.
Then let's do this. So we'll move Plank. So hey, looking at this here route tree, and you see you got something. How do you
Are we still here? Are we still here?
Okay, maybe he can't hear.
There we
Bad
go.
everybody
Okay,
back to the
okay.
broadcast.
Everybody coming back.
Everybody coming back.
Fire.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
That was funny.
Yeah,
That
we
was funny. It was
can actually
that was
still hear
funny.
you.
Hey, it was on. Hey,
That
it
was
was only
late.
me
That
and
was
D
late.
Hap.
Oh, really?
Hey, it was only me and D Hap. I was like, hey,
You know what?
He killed himself.
hey, I was
That's
getting
what
ready to invite D Hap over my house to run some rocks in the backyard. It was only me and him.
That's what
So,
happened
hey,
when you
basically, D-Ham, we was looking at the route tree, and we was
Okay.
trying to figure out if you come up to the line and you see a blitz coming on, from looking at that route tree, how do you have that receiver adjust his route, like you said last week, but from one of those numbers on the route tree?
So
Great.
Bernard,
Yes.
just to make sure, what we're gonna do is today we're gonna show you two different slides. One with the route tree, so everybody's familiar with that, and the second we're gonna go into a cover two defense, so you can kind of talk about some of the weak areas and soft areas in the zone.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, we got the route tree, just so everybody's familiar with what that looks like. Are you sharing that, Bernard?
Yeah, hold on. It's not letting me bring it into the broadcast. Hold on, let me do this. I'm gonna remove it and add it back in. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So just to make sure everybody's familiar with the different routes that receivers will run, thank you so much for sharing that, Jay. Okay, then we can talk a little bit about what that defensive coverage looks like and talk about those underneath zones. So as a quarterback, I'd like you to kind of give some information and input on how you will go about attacking this kind of defense, what you're looking for, what it is that you see.
For sure. Appreciate it. First, I love visuals, so thanks for putting them up there. The route tree, looking at the route tree, if you look at the numbers, well, today they start at 0, and it goes from 0 to 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
Even numbers are always inside. Odd numbers are
All
always
numbers are outside.
So how do I communicate that? It really depends, honestly. And I'll just share my personal experience on communicating routes to receivers. First, I have to state there's a lot of offensive coordinators and head coaches that do not give quarterbacks leeway to change their routes. However, I've been lucky and fortunate to be in situations that I do have that autonomy. So first, I'll start with, I know you mentioned blitz. For the most time, if you're in an offense, a structured offense, your blitzes, you have something called hot route, something that's hot. Hot means that, I have a hot receiver who knows that he's hot, and if there's a blitz coming, whatever he's running, he's cutting it off, and he's running something right now to get his eyes to the quarterback to know he's hot. And that can be verbally stating, quarterback come up to the line, hot, or that can be just eye contact.
Eye contact. Yep.
I'm hot and I have to get rid of it.
Yep.
Secondly, so communicate. What if I want to get a receiver or someone into one of those routes on the route tree? So in college we use the body clock. All right, and the body clock, what I mean by that is starts at the top of your head. That's 1, and go down. Let's say under your knee. That's 9. So you got here. That's 1. Eyes or something, maybe 2, 3, 4, so forth, so on. So you can just play it off, and I read my thigh. I know that's I know that's the route that I'm
Yes.
Man, hey, you know what? Long as I've been playing football and watching football, I did not. I'm gonna confess. I did not know that's what the quarterback was doing when he started doing stuff. I had no idea what he was doing.
Yes.
I knew he was changing the play, but I didn't know he was.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I did not know that. I'm confessed that I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And it get a lot more complicated. Like even nowadays, these guys come into the huddle with 2 and 3 plays, and you hear a lot of kill, and we're good, stuff like that. So they're changing from not just one route, but entire plays. But I don't want to get too far off. So yeah, just a body clock. or just verbalizing hot, or just dummy words, that correlates to that.
Omaha,
Yep.
dummy
Stuff like
words.
that. Yep.
Mean that play ain't gonna change. Mean that play ain't gonna change.
Area in the defense you're going to attack then.
Sure.
So that was great letting us know how you're going to communicate with the wide receiver so he knows how to break off his route. He knows which one is hot. How do you determine which area you're going to attack in the good defense? That soft area.
Sure. So I'll just go with the display you showed. It was a 4-3, which is your 4 down linemen, 3 backers, and 4 defensive backs, 2 corners, 2 safeties, and you had cover 3 up there. So cover 3 is, So from here, cover 3, the defensive backs, they take a third of the field with the safety rolling down to a curl to flat, and all that means is simple math. The corner got a deep third. The safety, whatever safety is not rolling down, coming down, that safety has deep middle, and the other corner has a third of the field. And obviously, your backers, they have hook to curl. So attacking this defense is vulnerable up the seams. So the seams are the area in between the corner and that deep middle safety. So if we have I just go with four receivers, and they don't have to be 4 receivers. It can be 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. It can be 3 receivers, 1 tight end, however you want to, but just 4 receivers, and let's just make them run vertical. And this should give you a visual. This should give you a visual. Imagine 4 receivers running down the field. 1 receiver on the right sideline, by the numbers. The other receiver on the hash marks. Another receiver on the opposite hash, and that 4th receiver on the numbers over here, right? So simple math, how many we have? We got 4 against 3. And this is all offensive coordinators do. They come out, how can we outnumber the defense in this area of the field? So if I know a team that plays a lot of cover 3, I'm going to do a lot of 4 verticals because they only have 3 people, 3 deep guys to cover 1. No, I'm sorry, 3 deep guys trying to cover 4, and the quarterback just have to pick and choose and manipulate the middle of the field. Also, the short hashes are open, so there will be a time, it depends on the situation I come, and we'll run quick hitches or quick speed out because it's impossible in cover 3 to cover that area.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, so this is one of the things that I know we always talk about, pass protection. But this is also key to pass protection as well, because if you can't pass protect, you can't send that many receivers out. Now you can't take the guy back out of the backfield. Maybe you got to bring in tight ends that only block. I'm just trying to add in like alternative things that happen. What you gonna say, Jay?
I was just gonna say, in that particular instance where he just showed that, and he want to send 4 verticals. If the quarterback and the wide receiver is connected, one of those wide receivers is going to break that off and find a soft zone, which is what I talked about last week. You find that soft zone. Allen Robinson actually did it last week for like a 24 or 25-yard catch where he broke his route off in that zone, and he found what they call the soft zone, and he was wide open. So it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when they come together. D-Hap, it's so beautiful when they come together because it's just like, oh my God, everybody running down the field, but I got one guy that's going to break this wide open, and he's going to show me his numbers, and he's going to be right there for the catch. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Tammy and Guy, do y'all have any questions before we close out? I know we're about to close out the broadcast. Any questions before we close out? No? Okay.
How you gonna catch
Look at Mark.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Go hang out with Snoopy.
Hey, Bernard, I like to talk. I just got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just got one question for D-Hap. Y'all know I like to talk. D-Hap, what do you think about these spread offenses in college today?
Good question.
Great question. Honestly, it's just tailoring to the type of athlete we have today.
You
And
answered my question.
it's just putting them in space to play one-on-one football. Yeah, it create running lanes. There's a lot of positive to spreading them out. The spread offense, running lanes, and getting guys in space to play. I know in the high school level, it's basketball being this new phenom. That's just basketball on turf. That's what I call it, honestly. And that's how I get a lot of buy-in to kids that play a lot of basketball. Like, hey, you know how to catch, you know how to run. Come and do it on a football field. It's easy, and it's a fast break. And so that's spread offense. And you go back to look at Northwestern years back, Purdue, schools like that, when they just spread them out. A lot of people think it's because of the fast and quick athletes, but it's the total opposite. It's for teams that don't have a lot of athleticism to spread them out.
Good point.
Just create matchups.
Good point. Good point.
We'd like to thank you, D. Ham, for coming on today. We'd like to thank everybody out there that was viewing the pregame show and Football 101. Very informative. I definitely learned a couple of things this week and last week and the previous weeks from Jay Beasley, from Keith, and also from Jason Williams. So we'll see everybody 30 minutes after the game on Sunday. What time is the game on Sunday?
It's noon.
It's a noon game. So roughly we're estimating about between 3:30 and 4 that we'll start. We'd like to thank you again for tuning in and have a nice evening. Peace.
Peace out. Good stuff.
There we go.